Okay. Good evening. My name is Valeria. I am a student from the Universidad Latina de Costa Rica. I'm studying the major on English teaching. And today I'm going to talk about this Desuggestopedia. Okay. Desuggestopedia was developed by a Bulgarian psychotherapist named Georgi Lozanov, also known as the father of accelerated learning. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about him. He was a scientist, neurologist, psychiatrist, psychologist, and educator, creator of suggestology, Suggestopedia, and integrated psychotherapy. He developed the Desuggestopedia, a learning teaching theory based on his early 1960s. Lozanov's theory and practice triggered an accelerated learning movement in the West, where various techniques not originally included in the Lozanov's theory were introduced. Such techniques included elements such as breathing, visualization, and biofeedback. And there is a school in Sylvan dedicated to preparing teachers for using the Desuggestopedia during lessons in order to improve the learning speed on students. During the 1970s, his theories and method were carefully analyzed and evaluated worldwide by a committee on languages learning and eventually certified by UNESCO as the most cultural, integral, and effective learning method in second languages acquisition, better known today as its corporate adaptation called the accelerated learning method. Among his research, Lozanov had conducted during his early career stages advanced long-term research in the field of parapsychology, especially on clairvoyance at the University of Sofia. He eventually left the Soviet Union and settled in Western Europe, opening the Lozanov Institute in Vienna, while he was conducting extensive work in North America, particularly in Washington, D.C. and Ottawa, working at its corresponding diplomatic institutes on the development and implementation of accelerated second language training programs for federal government employees. So, to talk about the Desuggestopedia itself, as you already know, it was founded by the Bulgarian psychiatrist educator Georgi Lozanov in 1978. It is an effective humanistic approach and approach in which there is respect for a student's feelings. Also, learning deficiency comes from the psychological barriers to learning. So, you should be asking what the Desuggestopedia is. I'm going to tell you about the Desuggestopedia in language learning. The Desuggestopedia is a teaching method that was developed in Bulgaria from the 1960s and the 1990s. This method was derived from suggestology, a medical study of suggestion in human communication and its role in the development of personality. It's based on a modern understanding on how the human brain works and how humans learn most effectively. The suggest is the opposite of suggest. This method is to overcome some learning problems as it puts importance on the suggesting limitations on learning. The Desuggestopedia has been called an effective humanistic approach because there is a respect for a student's feelings. is not just to learn, but about the comprehension of the information and the environment itself. Students do not use their full powers of learning, and they have some limitations in learning. These limitations have to be suggested using some specific teaching techniques which stimulate them to use their reserved capacity of learning. Usually this capacity of learning can be stopped because of being uncomfortable in the class, because of suffering about bullying, or this kind of stuff that make the student not be comfortable with himself. Also, the Desuggestopedia is an application on the study of suggestion to pedagogy. This is also used to eliminate the negative feeling, and Desuggestopedia is used to reinforce the positive feeling and to release the full mental power. This methodology has been developed to help students eliminate the feeling that they cannot be successful or the negative association they may have towards studying, and help them overcome the barriers to learning. This theory emphasizes the power of students' feelings and puts the main focus on them. Also helps on health, social, and psychological relationships, and to the success in other subjects for the future, like, for example, if the student wants to take several majors, or at work, it's going to help them a lot. So how is the Desuggestopedia in the class? Well, we already saw that the Desuggestopedia helps about the student about their feelings. Their feelings are important. So what teachers want to do is to make them comfortable in the class. For example, making the class more cool, let's say, like using soft lights, music. Actually, music, it's a tool that can be used in different situations that I'm going to explain later. Use cheerful room decorations, comfortable seating, and dramatic techniques used by the teacher in the presentation of the material. Let's remember then, for example, when a teacher just read information, the students won't learn about anything because they're probably thinking about something else, for example, because their attention are not being called, let's say. So when I talk about using dramatic techniques, it could be like using games, asking them to participate in the class, making like theater ways, for example, putting them to act or something similar. And with the music, I put Baroque music. But if we're going to use music to help them concentrate, it can be Mozart's music, because studies shows that this type of music, classical music, can help people to concentrate better. Also, another tool about music, it could be like asking them what type of music do they like, And for example, if they like rock, you can download a rock song and its lyrics and give them to the students and make them practice, because doing this, they're going to learn vocabulary and they're going to start learning about the correct forms of sentences. One of the most important things is, why should we apply Desuggestopedia in our class? As a teachers, our most important goal should be for our students to learn and to make themselves go and make things better. So, for example, when people use colors at the moment of studying, this helps us remember better the information, because they will associate the information with the colors. So, for example, let's say verbs. If they use verbs and use color red, they will associate verbs with color red. So at the time that they're doing the exam, they will remember red and they will remember the verbs. Also, nouns, for example, can be yellow. The same things happened with yellow. When they remember yellow, they will remember better nouns, or in examples or phrases. But the important is that they use colors to associate the information. Music, like I said before, can help us to learn and understand. Also creates a comfortable environment. It will make them feel comfortable about themselves, comfortable with the teacher, and comfortable in the class. When I said about the decoration of the class, it is also important, because if you use a lot of colors and good images and all of this type of good pictures, they will feel better because it will irradiate a good energy, and they will be happy and they will be comfortable and they will be good. They will feel good, because let's say it like that. If you have a cool classroom, prepared for them, they will feel better, because what it's around us, it seems like it's not, but what is surrounded us, it motivate us, So yes, this will be my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know, and thank you very much for paying attention. Bye.